Sorry, last video. Again, a cone is a pyramid with a circular base and has a vertex there at the top. Okay, so let's talk about some important things. I'm gonna go all the way down here. All right, so pyramids. Pyramids are a little trickier, okay? The reason they're a little trickier is because unlike a prism, where we just have the height of the prism is the distance between the two bases, in a pyramid, we do have the height, and we also have something called the slant height, okay? So let me explain what all these variables mean, and then we'll do an example. So up here is the vertex. So I want you to imagine you're at the top of this vertex, like this pyramid in Egypt, and you're doing like Indiana Jones style. There's a hole at the top of the pyramid, and there's a rope, and you just take the rope and you just propel yourself straight down, boom, to the base of the pyramid. That is the height of the pyramid. It's inside, okay? It goes from the vertex straight down to the base, forming a 90-degree angle. That is the height of the pyramid. Okay? It's the altitude, it's the height, right? Okay, now you're Indiana Jones at the top of the pyramid. You're at the vertex, but there's no hole at the vertex for you to go inside of the pyramid, and you have to run away from zombies or mummies or whatever you're running away from. I don't know Indiana Jones very well, sorry. So what you have to do is slide down the pyramid, and you're going to do that as safely as possible, which means you want to do it in the middle of this triangular face. So going all the way down until you're perpendicular to like this edge here. That is called the slant height. And the variable that we use for the slant height is a lowercase l, because that's not confusing. Okay? They don't want to call it S, I guess, because there's too many S's. I don't know. They can't call it H because there's a height. So you have height, and then you have slant height. The slant height is slanted. The height is perpendicular to the base. Perpendicular to the middle of the base. Okay. So that brings us to our formulas. Lateral area. You could calculate the area of each of those triangles and add them all up. They're not always going to be the same, so you can't just multiply by 4. You can only do that if the base is a regular quadrilateral or regular something. The best way to find the lateral area is this formula, 1/2 LP. Remember, the L is your slant height, and then P is the perimeter of the base. That's the same. Then, to get the total surface area, you take the lateral area, which is this, and you add capital B. And what does capital B stand for again? Area of the base. And how many are there? Just 1. So remember before we did plus 2 times the area of the base. Well, now you can see we're just adding the area of 1 base. Okay, so let's practice that together. We'll do a nice easy one here, numero uno. Okay, lateral area is, oh yeah, this is going to be a good one. 3, 8, yeah. Okay, so we have 1/2 LP. So what's my L right here? Well, that's going to be the slanty piece here, 11.7. What's my P, perimeter of the base? Well, we should probably calculate that. You'll notice that this base is a square. So this is a square pyramid. So that's going to be 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, also known as 8 times 4. So the perimeter is 32. Slant height is 11.7. So all we have to do is plug that in and calculate. Handy dandy calculator. 7 times 32 divided by 2. So my lateral area here is 187.2 meters squared. So that's just the lateral area, but it's still important. I'm going to box it a little bit there. Okay, questions on that? We're good there? Okay, here's where you need to pay attention. Focus. Give me your attention. Are you ready for this? Okay. To find the surface area. Oh, this isn't as hard as I thought, actually. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to freak you out. I was thinking we had to do volume. Volume is next time. It's going to be a little harder for pyramids, but you'll be okay. Surface area, yeah, you just take the lateral area, right, which we just found, 187.2, and you add the area of the base. Okay, capital B. Capital B, since this is a square base, is just going to be 8 times 8, or 8 squared, which is 64. So 187.2 plus 64. Okay, la 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 la, and that is 251.2 meters squared. Okay, easy peasy. Okay, now we're ready to make it harder? Yes, good. Gotta make sure you are prepared. Okay, should we skip to that one? Let's do number 3. If we have time, we'll do that hexagon at the bottom. All right, number 3. Lateral area is LP. Slant height times perimeter of the base. Perimeter of the base, that's not too bad, right? Just do, add up all the bases. That looks like a square base again, right? So, we're going to have 16 times 4. That's 64. Okay. The problem. Now pay attention. The problem here is your L, the slant height. So again, you're Indiana Jones. You're on your vertex, on the pyramid. You're sliding down the side because you're slant heighting it. That is my slant height L. Do you know what that is? Not right now, you don't. What do you have? The actual height. 3 feet from here down. Here down. Okay, this is going to blow your mind. Are you ready? Hope you're paying attention. To find the slant height, you're going to create, inside of your pyramid, a triangle, our favorite shape, with the height, and then here. And since that's 90 degrees, guess what you just did? You created a right triangle inside of your pyramid. Wow. Mind blown. That's cool. I know. So, how do we use that? Because I'm still missing this side right here. Well, no, you're not. Not if it's a square, right? If it's a square, that means that's going to be half of the whole base. So that's half of 16, which is 8. So let me redraw this if you're having trouble visualizing. What I have is 3, 8, and that's supposed to be an L, and your slant height. And now you do, you guessed it, Pythagorean theorem. 3 squared plus 8 squared equals L squared. Boom. So add those up. That's 73 equals L squared. Take the square root of that. Ooh. Let's round to the nearest 10. Yeah. 8.5 is approximately my slant height. So, don't forget Pythagorean theorem. It's your best friend. That's why I'm naming my child Pythagoras, because super duper important theorem. Where would we be without it? Okay, so 8.5 times perimeter of the base, which we said was 64. 8.5, 64. So, well, it depends on if you use that or if you do 8.5. Oh, okay. I'm going to use the more exact answer. So that's going to be approximately 546.8. And that's because I used not just 8.5, I used 8.544, blah, blah, blah. If you use that, it'll be more accurate. If you just use 8.5, you're going to get 544. Okay, so just be careful with that. That is the lateral area. Now we just have to find surface area. So surface area is, you take the lateral area, 546.8, and you add the area of the base. Remember, the base here is a square, so this is my base, which is a square, 16 by 16. So I'll just do that down here. 16 squared is 256. So you plug that in, 546.8 plus 256. So that's going to be 802.8 feet squared. Total surface area. Woo! That's fun. Yeah. Okay, we may not have time for this last one, so if it cuts me off, I'm sorry, but I'm going to make this the last video. Just briefly wanted to kind of go over number 6 with you here. Your homework might get a little harder than some of these, because these are pretty basic examples. Especially if you are given like a hexagon or a pentagon. I don't know that I gave you any pentagons. So just in general, let me briefly go over how you would do this. Again, lateral area of any pyramid is going to be, 1/2 LP. Oops. Did I do that wrong up here? Oh my goodness. Oh, I did. See, I knew the formula was 1/2 LP, and yet up here on number 3, look what Miss Coffee did. She did LP, not 1/2 LP. Miss Coffee. Oh my gosh, and it's not live, so you can't just stop me. Okay, so just real fast. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's the one that we just did. Okay, so that's not terrible. We can fix that. 546.8 divided by 2. So that's going to actually be 273.4. And then you plug that in right here and here. Okay, so we're going to change that to 273.4. 273.4. So sorry. And then 256 is still the same. So, okay, not that terrible. But this is not our answer. Our answer was 529.4 feet squared. Whew. This is great. I love online learning. That's the best. Okay. Anyway, so remember your formula is 1/2 LP for pyramids, not just LP. So this is pretty easy because you have the slant height as 11.3. That's this right here is your slant height. Sliding down, right? And then the perimeter, you want to look at the perimeter. Okay, this is a hexagon with each side is 6. So you want to do the perimeter 6 times 6 because there are 6 sides and each side is 6. So that's perimeter. Okay, pretty easy there. As long as you don't forget to divide by 2. So 203.4 is the lateral area. Surface area here would just be that number plus area of the base. And this is where you need to know 7-3, right? This is a regular polygon, so that's 1/2 apothem times perimeter. Okay, now this particular question is easy. You don't actually have to use this because they tell you right here that capital B is 93.53. So you would just plug in 93.53 and add that to the 203.4. And then you're done. Plus 90. Okay, but just be careful. If it doesn't give you that capital B, then that's where you would need to actually calculate it using your formula.